Alright guys, welcome back. This is Unit 8, page 3. Unit 8, review, page 3. Okay, so here we're going to identify all the followings. There should be 6 when you get done, and also a graph, okay? And you can do it in any particular order, but this is the order I like to do it. So I'm going to go ahead and start off with the y-intercept. How do you find the y-intercept? You set everything equal to 0. So that would be 0. So you have -9 left in the numerator. Divided by 0 plus 0 is 0. You cannot divide by 0, so there is no y-intercept. Do you see that? Next part. I'm going to do the horizontal asymptote. Okay, use your note card. Bottom heavy, top heavy are equal. They're equal. You see how x squared and x squared? So therefore, the y-intercept is the leading coefficient. So the number right there is a 1. So your horizontal asymptote is at 1/2. And there's the graph at y equals 1/2. There's your horizontal asymptote. Okay? I'm going to write HA just so you guys can see, but you don't have to label. From here, you need to start to factor. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and factor. Let's go ahead and factor right here. You ready? So here you have, what should I do? I should do it right here. I'm going to factor. So x squared minus 9. When I factor, I get x minus 3, x plus 3. You see that? Your denominator, what do you have? You factor out of 2x. When you factor out of 2x, you have x plus 3. Okay? So this is what I'm going to use to help me find all my other parts. All right, let me erase something because I'm not liking this little arrow thing. Okay, there we go. So I have factored this to right here, okay? And this is what I'm going to use to help me find all my other stuff. All right. First of all, I can cancel that out. Do you see that? What you cancel out is going to be your wholes. So you have x plus 3 equal to 0. And if you solve, this becomes x is equal to -3. You're going to graph this last, okay? Alrighty. Now you can go find the vertical asymptote. Where do you go for the vertical asymptote? You look at your denominator. You set each one of them equal to 0. 0 divided by 2 is 0. And the other one is x plus 3. Set that equal to 0. So x is equal to -3. So your vertical asymptote goes right here at 0. And also at -3. No y-intercept. Take a look. You have an asymptote there. That might be why you don't have a y-intercept. All right. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, x-intercept. Where do you go to look for the intercept? You look at your denominator. Do you notice? Oh, wait a minute. Time out, time out, time out. Did you see how you already did this here? You're not going to have that, okay? So there's not going to be a vertical asymptote. Sorry, my fault. And the reason being is there's already a hole there. You were canceled. I didn't see my pen canceling that out. Oh, my fault. All right. X-intercept. The one that's not canceled is x minus 3. Set that equal to 0, so x is equal to 3. And there you have your x-intercept. All right. From here, we are going to graph. I'm going to use my calculator, okay? You can use Desmos. You can use your calculator. Type in your original. Just make sure you put parentheses around your numerator. And make sure that's a minus and not a divide. Divided by 2x squared plus 6x. If you use the Desmos, make sure you put parentheses around the top part. Hit graph. That graph is just going to give you an idea what your graph looks like, okay? All right, so let me go ahead and graph. It's going to look like this. And then the other one goes like this, touching the x-intercept. Now, let me tell you what happens at negative 3. At negative 3, there's a hole. So you go to x equals negative 3 and put a hole there. And you are finished. There you have number 13. Okay? All right. So if it's a hole, it's not going to be a vertical asymptote. All right, let's go to number 14. Same thing. All right. So let's go ahead and look for our y-intercept first. 0, 0, 0. 0, 0, 32. 0 divided by 32 is 0, so your y-intercept is 0. There's your y. All right. I'm going to cover that up. Next, horizontal asymptote. Take a look right here. Okay? Top heavy. If it's top heavy, you have no horizontal asymptote because it's going to be a slant. Or another word for it is oblique. But you don't have to find that today. Okay? Alrighty. Now I'm going to factor. I'm going to factor here. Because otherwise I don't have room. So let's take a look. Factor out an x. So you have x squared minus 3x minus 4. Let's keep factoring. Bring down your x. Two sets of parentheses. Factors of x squared is x and x. Two numbers are multiplied to give you negative 4. And it's going to subtract to give you negative 3. So minus 4 plus 1. That's as low as you can go. Let's factor your denominator. You factor out a 4. And then you have x squared minus 6x plus 8. Bring down that 4. Draw two sets of parentheses. Factors of x squared is x and x. Two numbers are multiplied to give you 8. It's going to add to give you 6. So negative 4, negative 2. Okay? I'm going to use a red ink, so this time I will see. All right. Let's do the whole first. So this is my simplified factor. Do you see anything you can cancel out? That negative 4. So there's your whole. X minus 4 is equal to 0. X is equal to 4. Graph last. Okay? All right, so you got horizontal asymptote, your whole. Let's go ahead and do vertical. Look in your denominator. Ignore the 4. Ignore x minus 4 because you already canceled out. So all you have left is x minus 2. X cannot be 2. Okay? So we're going to go to 2. And we're going to draw our vertical asymptote. Just like that. See it? Next part. All right. X-intercept. Look in your denominator. You got an x, so x is equal to 0. There you go. And also x plus 1. So x is negative 1. All right, so you guys have all the things you need. Oh, you know what I forgot? Domain. Domain is going to be all real number except it cannot be the whole and it cannot be the vertical asymptote. And let me go back and fix that last problem in just a little bit. All right, but let's go ahead and graph this one first. You ready? Calculator. Type in your original. Y equal. Okay? Parentheses, x raised to the third, right click, minus 3x squared, minus 4x in parentheses, divided, parentheses, 4x squared, minus 24x, plus 32. Graph. All right, so there I have my graph. There we go. Okay, so the graph goes like this. And the other one goes over here. There's a slant right here, but you don't need to worry about that. And the hole is at 4, so we're going to put a circle right there for the hole. Okay? And there you have your graph. All right. I forgot to do one thing here, and that was your domain. The domain for number 13 is all real numbers, except x cannot be where the hole is and where your vertical asymptote is. And there you have your domain. All right. So there's number 13 and number 14. Okay. Should have 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Perfect. Okay, let's look at number 15. All right. 15, you don't have to graph, and you can mark off the end behavior. We're not doing that. Okay, guys? Here we go. Let's take a look. Vertical asymptote. Can't factor, so I'm just going to look in your denominator. X plus 7 equals 0. X cannot be negative 7. Ta-da! There's your VA. Okay? Horizontal asymptote. It is 2x over x, so they are exactly the same. So y is 2 over 1, which is 2. There's your horizontal asymptote when you look at it. You see it? All right, x-intercept is going to be your numerator. Let's look at your numerator, x-intercept. So it'd be 2x plus 5, set that equal to 0. Subtract 5, divide by 2. So the x-intercept is negative 5 over 2, comma, 0. All right, holes. Nothing cancel. There's no holes. Y-intercept, set everything equal to 0. So 2x is 0. So y is equal to 5. X plus 7, so 0 plus 7 is 7. So your y-intercept is 0, comma 5 over 7. And you are finished. Okay? And if you look, it should match up to the graph you have underneath. All right, and that is page 3.